Yes, guys. Um, so this is my first ever YouTube video that I'm currently recording right now. It's Thursday, the 4th of June. It's currently midday now. Uh, so yeah, so a little introduction about myself. My name is Jeremy, 19 years old. I live in the UK, and this channel will just be something that you can watch to get a little information and kind of follow my journey and the path to becoming a just the best version of myself, essentially. So today what I want to talk about is having a new self-image and a new identity. And I don't mean trying to put on a front, because people will be able to tell that you're putting on a front. But what you can do is build yourself to the best version of yourself. That is a new identity, because that is not the same person that you was yesterday or last week. This is a new person. So, um, this will correlate back to me as well. So everything I'm talking about will correlate back to me, and it essentially links to my life, because I'm still young, still trying to figure things out. I mean, no one has ever really figured it out. Everyone kind of just goes with the flow and see where they'll end up best, and that's what I'm trying to do. But I'm trying to also, as well as let's say, going to the gym and trying to build my dream physique. uh Everything in here matters as well. So yes, having nice muscles is good and whatnot, but what goes in here and who you are as a person matters the most. Because if your outer appearance is shit, then sorry, if your outer appearance, if your inner appearance happens to be shit, but your outside you look good, it just doesn't matter how good you look on the outside, because people will still not respect you, and people will still look at you as weak, even though you might be physically the strongest person in the room. And another example could be, oh, okay, so there's a guy that goes to the gym and he happens to be strong physically, he lifts a lot of weight, but mentally he's weak. Why? Because maybe he's instead of trying to focus on himself innerly internally, sorry, I don't know if innerly is a word, but internally, he's given all his time and all his energy onto other people, or he's given all his energy onto women that don't even want him back. And essentially, that's just going to lead him to destruction. And biblically, there's a lot of men that happen to fall in this category. And someone I'll use an example is Samson. I'm sure everyone knows the story of Samson. He was strong physically. God placed him to, take care of, his people, but he let lust get the best out of him. And essentially, he fell into the laps of Delilah, where, his locks were cut. His locks were the only thing that was giving him strength. That was cut. And he just lost all of his strength. Why? Because he decided to be weak internally and just give all the energy onto a woman that, just used him and manipulated him and essentially just brought him to ruin. So so what I'll be discussing with you guys today is obviously crafting, a good self-image, just being the best version of yourself, and having this new identity where it's literally unshakable and no one can come to you. So the first thing I want to talk about is being successful and abundant in your identity. So you need to know who you are as a person. Don't try to put in the front, or don't try to be like someone else. Just be who you are, but be successful in who you are. Be abundant in your identity. What this could mean is just trying to, if you're someone that's that just happens to, you know, be a people's pleaser, just cut that out. if you're someone that's trying to, always please people, always trying to, um, what's the word? Always trying to, make people laugh, but then internally you're kind of distraught and you dried up internally. Just stop and, fix yourself, like lift yourself. Um, this doesn't mean cut people off overall, because we need people. Socializing is good. Having more than, you know a friend, having a friend or two around your circle is good. Real friends I'm talking about, not the people that you have to kind of fake yourself in order to see that, oh, this guy did that, so he's funny, let's bring him to our friend group. No, don't try to impress anyone, just be yourself. So the second thing that I wrote down is having high belief will alter high self-image only through repeated action and discipline. So what I mean by this is, um discipline is good, discipline is great, whatever. Having repeated action, so constantly having to push yourself, constantly having to, put all your emotions to a side and actually just locking in and, not essentially locking in, but just doing what you're supposed to do, even when you don't feel like it. That will make you, someone that's unshakable. That will bring discipline out of you. So when another example, when people are telling you not to do things, and not to actually to do things, and to indulge in activities that you don't want to do, essentially you've got discipline in you. You know you shouldn't do that. So guess what? You're not gonna do it. And having discipline and doing the things that you don't want to do just builds confidence. And I'm speaking from experience here. So I'll use me as an example. Whenever I don't feel like going to the gym, um, but I turn up anyway, at the end of my gym session, it might not be the best gym session, but at least I showed up, I put in the work. Now my confidence is up, and just doing things, just walking around, you just feel like, you've accomplished something. It's not anything crazy, like, having 10K in the bank, but, internally you feel happy because why? You decided to put your emotions to aside, you decided to push through, and that confidence is just something that you can always chase. Always chase that confidence, always chase hard work, and that will make you feel good, and people can smell, okay, this guy, I see him every day. He's always putting in work. People will be able to see it. They might not always like tell you, "Oh, I see you, bro. You're putting in the work," but from the corner of their eye, they'll be able to see that you're always showing up and you're always putting in work. Um, the next thing I wrote is high belief without discipline is self-deception. So essentially, you're just fooling yourself. If you have a high belief but you're not disciplined, like you're not trying to fool anyone, only yourself. So it's important to high to balance it out, to high belief, but at the same time being backed by discipline is the only thing that will just essentially make you the person that you want to be, because anyone can believe in themselves, but then when it comes to actually putting in work, which is the hard part, you kind of have to show up and put in the work, or else you're just gonna be, just a fish with a fish in on outside of water. You're just gonna be flopping about. So that was the first part. So the second part we're gonna talk about is stewardship, and how nothing belongs to you. It's only been entrusted to you. So me being a believer, um, nothing that I currently have right now really belongs to me. So whether it's my time, my money, my body, the opportunities that come to me, and even my mind, it doesn't really belong to me. It's only been entrusted to me, and being entrusted means that it's been given to you to look after it. And if you don't look after it, guess what? It will get stripped away from you. Just like talent. If you've got talent and You're not using that talent, rather just hiding and burying it under the ground. Guess what? That talent will just go to someone else who needs it, and someone's gonna eventually use it. Um, so the things that I listed were time. Obviously, time is really, really finite, especially in this day and age. You never know when your time's up. For me, I don't even know when my time is up. For all I know, I could wake up tomorrow and not wake up at all. You know, I could wake up tomorrow paralyzed. I could wake up tomorrow and have a heart attack and die. Time is really, really finite. So make sure you use your time wisely. And from, I'm speaking to myself as well here. So yeah, and money. So money again is been entrusted to you. It does not belong to you. The figures that you see in your bank account it really, really doesn't belong to you, because at the end of the day, you could wake up tomorrow and have nothing. You could have a business that's booming, making 25, 30K in 1 month, and then um at the end of the day, it's just going to be stripped away from you, and it's just going to be lost. So, and then we have your body. This one is a bit tricky because we walk in our body every day. We eat, we sleep. Some people train, some people do not. Um, it's important to look after your body well. I'm talking you, even if you don't go to the gym, just make sure you're taking in the right nutrients. You're limiting yourself with, junk food and sugar. This is something that I'm currently struggling with. I do like my burgers, I do like my milkshakes and stuff, but over time, is it really gonna have is it really gonna benefit me? Probably not. So it's just time for me to start considering if I should limit myself. There's nothing wrong with having a burger and, you know, some sweets on the side, but if you're constantly having it regularly, then that will become a problem. Now we've got opportunities. This one. So the opportunities that arrive to you, they're not a coincidence. They've been given to you for a reason. There's been countless times where I've missed opportunities and I wish I had time to, at the time machine, to go back and, kind of just get the opportunities out. But that's not the case. So unfortunately, we can only just look in the future. So if you have any opportunities that's lining up, make sure you go for them. Doesn't matter how you feel or if you think you're ready, because guess what? You will never ever be ready. The only way to start is now. Me recording this video, I didn't feel like doing it because I didn't feel ready. I didn't feel like I had the best equipment, the nice camera, the nice background. I didn't have any of that. However, I decided to um just do it anyway because of stewardship. We talked about this in the beginning, which is, nothing fully belongs to you. It's only been entrusted. So everything that I have right now doesn't really belong to me. It's only been entrusted to me. So, I have to make the best out of everything. So even though I don't have the best camera that's recording in 4K, I've got an iPad that I can record on, and essentially you know, this will just do the job as well as good as, having a 4K camera. You can still see my face. Yes, it might not be clear, but you can still see my face. You can still hear my voice, and essentially that's what's gonna, lead me to, progressing and having the best camera, having the best microphone. I don't really care about any of that. However, it would be nice to have it. Uh, One thing I wrote was, God isn't asking how much you had. He's asking what you did with what you was granted. So again, this links back to stewardship. I'll use the same example. He doesn't care if I have the 4K camera or if I have, the microphone that's attached to my t-shirt. I've got an iPad that has a working camera built in it. I use that, and that's something that will please God, because why? Though I don't have the best equipment, but with what I was granted, I used to make the best out of everything. So a question you should ask yourself is, you've got a talent. You might not know what it is yet, but you can always figure it out. You can always try new things. That's how you find your talent, by trying new things. The question you should ask yourself is, with my talent, am I wasting it? Am I multiplying my talent? Or am I burying my talent? This links to the parable of the talents. So are you wasting it? Are you multiplying it? Or are you burying it? Another question you should ask yourself is, what do I have right now? So right now, me personally speaking, I've got a notebook, I've got an iPad, I've got a TV. I'm using these as an advantage. You might not have the same equipment as me, but you probably have a phone because you'll be watching this on the phone or a TV. Even if you don't have a phone, you probably have a laptop. You will have some sort of equipment. So having an excuse isn't really the best way to go. And excuses is something that I've been struggling with, that I'm trying to get better at. You know. So another question you ask yourself is, how do I use it properly today? So how do I use the equipment I've got? How do I use it to the maximum capacity today? You know, you're probably watching this. You might not have the best equipment, but the little that you've got, how can you use it today? Know how to use the things that you've got, and essentially the better things will come. So the last question is, what am I proving with my current habits? So currently, obviously, I'm trying new things. I'm waking up, making sure that, the job gets done, making sure that I'm taking things off my list in order to um, move on to the next, in order to move on to the next, and essentially eliminating things out to progress. So that's the video for today. I know I might not be clear, or I might not be um just the best, but at the end of the day, I'm still trying. This is my first ever video. There will be more videos like these on the way. Just make sure to subscribe, stay tuned, and just share this with as many people as you can. And ultimately, my goal is to kind of build a brand where I'll be able to, help people, because or who are on the same kind of path as me, or on the same journey as me, and we'll be able to kind of help each other, build each other up, and just become the best versions of ourselves.